Hey everybody, welcome back to dansfera.com. Once again, that website address for you is dansfera.com. It's been a long time since I posted on the business blog. I've been doing a lot of clinical trial stuff, and that's important because I've been creating content myself and the co-host Don Walters. We've been creating tons of content for clinical trials, but I've noticed that my business blog has been not attended to as frequently, and I'll try to get back to it. But something really interesting that I'm starting to notice, and a lot of people are finally starting to talk about. I was watching this lecture online that I guess the professor from Stern, NYU University School of Business, he was talking about how brands are becoming the new content creators because of Facebook and social media, but mostly because of Facebook. And he used the example of Burberry. Burberry has something like 4 or 5 million fans on its Facebook fan page, and they're starting to create tons of content in order to keep their fans engaged, keep their fans entertained, keep their fans talking. And when you look at the old content creators, like in Burberry's industry, it would be like Vogue or some kind of fashion magazine. They have significantly less number of fans on Facebook. Now, of course, they still have the magazine, which circulates around I don't know how many households in the United States. But the whole point of this lecture that I was watching is the fact that magazine subscriptions are going down. Obviously, I mean, everybody knows that. And social media and online engagement is growing, and people are joining Facebook like every day. And so the old school content creators like magazines and like TV channels and like news channels and things like that, but mostly magazines, they really I don't know if they're gonna like completely go out of business, but they're definitely losing a lot of market share to the brands. The brands are becoming the actual content creators themselves, and that's going to be interesting to see. You know, I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it definitely provides tons of opportunities for entrepreneurs out there because the playing field is now level. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with clinical trials. I noticed that there's not much going on with clinical trials as far as content being produced at all. So with the website, The Clinical Trials Guru, we produce tons of content, and actually it's more content than anyone else on the internet as far as clinical trials is concerned, and we do it in an authentic way. But the whole point of this is if you're an entrepreneur out there and you want to gain trust and you want to start gaining an audience, you don't need to like go to the magazines and get an article written about you anymore. You can become the content creator. You can become the person, the go-to resource for news in your industry or news about your industry or just things about your industry. So I like what the fashion people are doing, like Burberry. They're starting to create content. And you can do that with any industry that you're in. So if you get a startup, think about the industry that you're in. Think about who the current content creators are and just start creating content. Start engaging, and then pretty soon you're going to have to start creating content that's not just about you and not just about your brand, but about the entire industry and providing like relevant information that people can actually benefit from. And it doesn't necessarily have to benefit you, although it will benefit you because people will trust you more. But let's say you're Burberry, you're not just going to want to talk about your stuff all the time. You may want to talk about new trends for fashion, and it may not necessarily apply to Burberry, but they're going to talk about it because they want to be the trusted source of this kind of information, and then it's going to end up helping Burberry anyways. So think about that. Just something for you entrepreneurs and marketers out there to think about. How are you building your brand? Are you creating any content? Are you gaining trust? Are you engaging with people? And it's not just about pushing your own stuff. It's about gaining trust and creating content that actually helps people and people can actually benefit from. So hopefully this helps. Let me know what you guys think. It's dansfera.com. Thanks a lot.